Ladies and gentlemen, we got a recession.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I'm kidding. We don't actually have a recession, at least not yet. But the markets have been going down ever since the year started, and there's a few things that I feel you could use that might help you in your investments looking forward, especially going into recession. So let's get into the 3 very basic tips that I use in investing that might help you as well. So the first one is indexing. And I've talked about indexing in the past, kind of giving that analogy of buying a whole pie instead of just buying ingredients at the supermarket. And that's a good one. But to give you guys another analogy, you can think about investing as betting on horses. If you were betting on the Kentucky Derby a few weeks ago, you had the opportunity of betting in individual horses. But imagine if you have the opportunity of just betting on every single horse at the same time. That's pretty much what indexing does. It kind of gives you opportunity of allocating small amounts of money into a lot of stocks at the same time. The best way to do this is by buying things like the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, which are primarily what I buy in my personal investments. And if you're looking at things like your 401k or your IRA, you're probably just looking at mutual funds that track like international stock, emerging market stocks, and things like that. Indexing is widely proven to outperform the vast majority of stocks. The second one is consistency, and this pretty much means just investing regardless of what happens in the market. Let me share a personal anecdote. I have 3 investment accounts, which are my 401k, which is invested directly as soon as it's taken out of my paycheck, my Roth IRA, which I have automated from Fidelity to take money out of my checkings account and also invest directly, and also my personal investing account that I also have automated from my checkings account to take out a small sum of money and invest it directly. This is called a dollar cost averaging. A dollar cost averaging consists of investing a fixed amount of money every week or month, regardless of what happens in the market. And this is actually one of the things that makes the biggest difference, because at the end of the day, you're not really aiming for timing the market, rather time in the market. One of the reasons why you want to spend time in the market and you want to be consistent in doing so is because besides the fact that the stock market is most likely going to increase in the long run, is you're also going to be accruing a lot of dividends that compound over the years. So it's much better to just play it safe and just investing a consistent amount of money every week or month. And the last one is rebalancing. So for your personal investing account, this might not be super applicable. For me, for example, I just try to invest as much as possible on indexes and just let that run forever. And then if I want to buy an individual stock that I have a passion for, I just buy that and also forget about it. But for things that are even more long-term, like your 401k or your IRA, you have to sit down and try to define the balances that you want to keep in your account at a certain point in time. So for example, if at the beginning of the year you define that you want to keep 60% in stocks and then 40% in bonds, you should sit down at least once a year. Usually books recommend that you do it around the December time and try to go back into those percentages that you decided at the beginning of the year. The reason for that is because rebalancing, which simply consists of selling the investments that are doing really well and buying more of the investments that are doing bad, is because it's going to help you go back into the target that you had at the beginning of the year. And by doing so, rebalancing also gives you an opportunity of selling when it's high and buying when it's low. If you read the book, The Investment Answer, which is super recommended, or you pretty much search it anywhere, you're going to see that if you track a portfolio that never rebalances and a portfolio that rebalances once a year, it makes a huge difference in the long run. Especially during times like these, there are going to be a few industries that are going to outperform others. So it's good to sit down every so often and try to go back into the target that you had at the beginning. If you like this video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the like button. And if you have a tip that I didn't mention here that has helped you in investments, be sure that you leave it in the comments so everyone else can see it. This is definitely not the time to be greedy. This is definitely not the time to be overconfident. It is just the time to be patient and wait, because sooner than later, we're gonna go back to green. See you next time.